Normally, you would almost feel like this is a layup, and if you look at the odds, you would definitely indicate smash spot Chidi and Njokuani. But then you look at the matchup, and you're like, wait, hold on, Chidi. This guy was fighting Gregory Rodriguez and you know what I mean, Michael Alexachuk, Albert Duraev, Rhys McKee. That dude's 170. Oh yeah, by the way, Chidi Njokuani dropping down to 170 pounds for the first time since 2016. There's been some weight misses, some weight issues on his end. I believe he has missed weight for 185 pounds as well. So before we jump into this matchup here, folks, there is a potential that, I mean, we got to make it to the fight before we could talk about the fight, right? Weigh-ins need to go accordingly. I'm going to say this. I was talking with AJ, and this is a transparent platform, right? So we were talking right before we recorded this, and we said if there's one pick we might reverse, it might be this one, given the context. But let's talk about it because we haven't changed any picks, and we say Chidi and Njokuani. The game plan versus Rhys McKee is you have to get him out of there early. First round, Chidi is the most dangerous Chidi you have available. Coming down from 185, as long as that chin holds up a little bit, the power is going to be a major advantage in his case. The only problem here, AJ, to almost a fault, Rhys McKee is a very durable fighter. Very, very durable fighter. And I see this, if Chidi doesn't get him out of there first, I see Rhys McKee putting him away in rounds 2 or rounds 3, just war of attrition. Am I wrong? Am I right? What are your thoughts?
You're right, Derek. And this one, especially if you're a Rhys McKee better, the longer he can make this fight last, the more dangerous he's going to be. And especially if Chidi's weight cut, going down to 170, it impacts him a little bit more than he thinks. Yeah, he might be there. He might get to the actual fight. But if your brain's a little dehydrated, you're hurting a little bit going in there, the chin could be a little faulty too. It does give a lot of pause for concern, especially, man, with 3 losses in Chidi's last 5 fights, or last 3 fights are all losses, man. This dude's going in on a skid right here. He needs this fight. Hopefully the new weight class can be the thing that energizes him and rejuvenates him. But he's also going to get up against not only a durable fighter, but a very powerful striker too, going into this. And Rhys McKee has some length to him, man.
15 pounds is a lot of pounds, bro. That's a lot of pounds. It's not, I mean, this is the Kevin Holland, this is the Joaquin Buckley. They were getting by at 185. They go down to 170, and the success just, at least for Buckley, the success skyrockets. For Holland, he still had some really interesting matchups that, kind of played out a little bit differently. I just think that the power is going to be massive because Rhys McKee is a very hittable fighter. And that's what we're applauding him on, the toughness, the durability. But the question is, Chidi is a sniper. So Rhys McKee normally enjoys a couple of different intangibles, attributes that he won't against Chidi. One, Chidi's the taller fighter in this matchup, which is probably strange to him at 170, given that Rhys McKee Skeletor is 6'2", Chidi's 6'3". Chidi's reach is 80 inches, Rhys McKee's is 78. So literally all of those advantages out the window. Chidi holds the advantage. I think if you're Rhys McKee, now you have to make your way on the inside. And you have to fight on the inside, but that's not really how he fights. So when it comes down to the teep kicks and the sniping shots of Chidi and Njokuani, do you think that any of that, do you think that the gas tank pretty much, it was already like kind of at 1 round. Are we thinking we got a good 3.5 minutes to get this man out of here? Do you think after that 3.5 minute mark or so, it's all downhill, or can we see a surprise from a rejuvenated Chidi and Njokuani?
We could see a surprise, Derek, especially if how he's going about his weight cut right here is intelligent, right? And then he's able to make it last a little longer. Now he has all the strength and all the power he had, but he weighs 15 pounds less, and he's feeling good about going into that. We could see a rejuvenated Chidi. I'm not saying I'm banking on it. I'm not saying I'm putting the money on the decision. I think that's why the odds makers have the minus 125 TKO. I think we're all thinking 1 round Chidi's a star, but it could happen, man. We've seen crazier happen out there.
This is what I will say. I think Rhys McKee lacks one tool that a lot of the other fighters who have beaten Chidi and Njokuani recently have been able to push the pace with, and that's the grappling. I don't see McKee going in trying to wrestle him up. So if this is like a pure kickboxing match, a pure Muay Thai match, if you will, I like my odds on Chidi and Njokuani. Big asterisk, just because of the weight cut, man. We're unproven. You're 35 years old. You haven't cut down to this weight class in 8 years. It's just that's normally not a good recipe for success. So normally I would say stay away, but for the purpose of this matchup right here and for this program, Chidi and Njokuani is the play. Minus 125 TKO is not the play. We're not going to be touching that, but I will safely take just Chidi and Njokuani and just play the safe bet, man. Where is he at right now again? Minus 140. This is getting closer to a pick'em, man. Plus 120. Come back for Rhys McKee. Let me say that one more time. Chidi opened at minus 235. He is close to close at minus 140. So, AJ, before we leave here, Are we sure? Are we sure about this? We can't let the odds makers deter you, but are we sure about this?
Man, I had the same thought, Derek, especially because I can see this fight going to decision, and all the arrows are pointing to Rhys McKee, and we might be eating crow on
Yeah,
Monday. But man, I still something in me tells Chidi can
that's
get
it.
that knockout. I'm not saying I'm blanking it in on minus
Yeah.
125. I just think, man, he could. It's there. We'll see. I like him at minus money for the odds for the money line.
I just don't want this to be Billy Corntillo versus Yusuf Zalal all over again because we called it. We're like, Zalal is, I mean, bro, that he's there. And what does he do? He goes out and just puts on a dominant performance. But that's neither here nor there. Chitty is the play.